All right, guys, you've been asking a long time. We got answers. The Costa Rica tax incentive for you getting your residency. They started 2.5 years ago on these tax incentives, 2.5 years. And we got a great update for you. And we're going to get to it in a second. Guys, I'm Michael Allen for TravelCostaRicaNow.com. TravelCostaRicaNow.com is a travel agency, so go to TravelCostaRicaNow.com, fill out the 4-minute form, and you'll be that much closer to the vacation of a lifetime. We're like you, having best friends who live in Costa Rica, who know Costa Rica, totally hooking up your Costa Rica vacation. Hey, man, if you haven't subscribed, please do. It really helps. No one puts out this much information, man. So please subscribe if you haven't already. And if you want to see videos as we put them up, hit the notification bell. And if you really want to show appreciation, maybe upgrade my shirt, you can always donate. Travel Costa Rica.
That's good.
Was that too much?
No, that's fine.
Not too much. Real quick, we got another relocation retreat coming up soon. I would love to see you guys there. It's my favorite thing to do is to meet you, sit around the pool, answer your questions. It's a 6-7 day event. There's no blowing smoke. It's the good, the bad, the ugly about living in Costa Rica. So if it's on your radar, but you're not quite sure if Costa Rica is right for you, I guarantee after this event, 100% you will know if Costa Rica is right for you or it's, honey, we're going to Portugal. And guess what? Even if you know everything we talk about, Pablo's a presenter there, but if you know all the information, you've done so much homework and research, trust me, just the contacts alone are worth the price of admission. You don't want to start anything in Costa Rica without the right people. Trust me, it can go way south real quick. Big time money losses, frustration, and you will want to go to Portugal. Anyway, all that information is in a link in the description. I would love to see you there. Pablo would love to see you there.
Yep.
All right, man, we got to get into this. We're going to try not to make this complicated, guys. This tax incentive thing's been going on for 2.5 years. You don't know about the tax incentives? The other president, Carlos, right? Carlos started that? Alvarado started that. So it was to get you guys to move to Costa Rica. And there's a few of them. They were going to change the investment category. Instead of 200,000, it was going to be 150. This is to get your residency, by the way. You could bring down a container of household goods tax-free. Bring your cars, your motorcycles, your boats tax-free. Yeah, it all sounded good, but was it happening? No. Now, I don't want to make him blush before we start getting to Pablo. You got to understand this has been complicated, and you get a lot of different answers depending on where you go on different websites. A lot of people are telling you, oh, no, it's not happening. No, it's too complicated. No, they're not really good. We don't really know. It's happening. Pablo's proving it. And that's why I circle myself with people like him. So we're going to give you the information. We're going to make it super simple. My name is Michael Allen. I want to live in Costa Rica, and I want to take advantage of the tax incentives. And this video is only about the household good section.
Vehicles and household goods.
Yeah, we're not talking about the other tax incentives like the investment category and things like that. This is the container stuff, the import stuff. So I want to be a resident in Costa Rica. I want to make a move to live here, and I want these tax incentives. I want to use them. What do I need to do? 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's make it super, super easy.
There is nothing simple about any bureaucracy in Costa Rica, right? But to make it in point, to make a few points, so you have at least these ideas. The first step is you have to have your immigration finalized, finished,
your
ready.
Residency.
Yeah, your residency.
This is key, guys. A lot of people aren't understanding this concept. You have to have your residency before this process starts.
So,
all right.
What we're saying is this is not for a tourist. This is not for somebody who wants to come and be here for a few months or perpetual tourist or any of that. You have to be willing to become a resident of Costa Rica legally. So you go to your immigration attorney. He will give you all the advice on that matter. You get everything for that, and then sometimes 6 months or sometimes a year and a half. It's different for every person under every category, but you get your residency.
Right.
So if you have that, and they have 20 plus categories.
20 plus what?
Residency categories. So out of those 20 plus categories, which I'm not an immigration attorney, but there are 3 that qualify for this, which is the investor, the retiree, or the rentista.
The retiree, if you guys don't know, is what they call a pensionado down here. That's where you're using basically your social security check or your disability check to prove to Costa Rica that you have a guaranteed amount of money, at least $1,000 per month coming in.
All right. So if you are under these immigration categories, and you have been approved, then you could meet the requirements for the customs clearance process. And that has to happen after the signature of the law. So if it's previous to that, we don't have a case that has shown that. So previous to that,
what do you mean previous to
20? Yeah, on Juan Carlos Alvarado signed this on February 2021,
2.5 years ago.
So if somebody comes and like, I have this, and but it was 5 years ago, it's not for that person.
Yeah. So I guess what for you got gringo people, you're not grandfathered in. All right, you're not grandfathered in because you came here a year and a half ago.
So after the signature of that law, this was meant to attract more investors, retirees, or pensionados. So after that signature, 5 years from that time. So if it's within the 5-year window, on that date, you got the residency, then you qualify. And that's pretty much it. You have to prove that you have that. And that's the only real requirement we got. So in other blogs and websites, we see other companies come out with a huge list of requirements. In our case, was only to have the residency ID card ready and the legal documentation showing that you have that.
All right. So after that, okay. So I have my residency, Pablo. I got my residency. Now my stuff is still like, let's say in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
So, I want to take advantage. So what do I have to do now? Okay. Who am I contacting for the next step of getting this tax incentive for my household goods?
Okay. The next step is for you to hire a shipping company to do it.
You,
of course.
Well, but I don't say shipping company.
No, but the way me, how I want to be the kind of give you in general. Of course, I'd love for you guys to use.
See why I like him. See why I like him. See why I use him. Go ahead.
But
sorry.
You need a shipping company, and then you hire a shipping company. It gets to Costa Rica. Of course, you have to get someone that is familiar with these laws, is familiar with, especially with household goods. If you're looking to do household goods. Because customs process for these particular things or for vehicles are different than regular customs processes. It's a little more complex. But anyway, you move everything to Costa Rica. Once it gets here, the next step is to apply for this benefit. So there is a website that is called Exonet.
Now this is after your stuff is here?
Well, you could do the application online before. That doesn't take a whole lot to get pre-registered. So
there's no bureaucracy time limit in that. Like I want to be proactive, so I do it before I actually get my stuff down here.
Yeah, you can do it's called pre-registration. It's kind of like registering yourself ahead.
Right.
If you have the your Costa Rican ID or the DMEX card.
Right.
So you can do it online. We can do it for you. We do it for our customers. The shipment is here, and then we do an application. The shipment has to be in Costa Rica for us to submit this application to the exoneration department, because one of the requirements internally is they ask what is the number of the shipment within the customs system. So if the shipment is not in Costa Rica yet, we don't have a code.
So that's why it's got to be here.
It's got to be here.
Okay, got that.
From that time, the exoneration department has 2 months to approve this. So it's 2 months of storage fees, which is could be $300 a month. So $600 or so.
What would be a norm? I know that's hard to say.
Yeah, but it's on the lower amount would be $200 a month. Kind of like for the cheapest you could possibly see, and it could go up to, depending on what you bring, the value, the volume, could be $500, $600 a month. So it could add up. So this is the reason why this is not for every shipment. So if you're only bringing a laptop and you want to get an exoneration that is going to save you $50 or $100, it doesn't make sense.
This is bringing your cars and household and all the whole thing.
Maybe a full container load.
Yeah.
If it's worth it to you.
Like a 40-footer type filled up.
Yeah. For a few things, and you may be saving, let's say you have a small little pallet, you're saving $300, it's not worth it. Because just the storage fees are going to be $200 a month. So for big things, a full container load with all your fancy, nice appliances that you want to save money on those, maybe the import taxes on a big shipment like that is like super good quality stuff.
Cars.
Could be
Cars too, right?
five. Of course, cars is like the obvious thing.
Boats and all that.
But for household goods, if your shipment is going to be paying $5,000 or more, then it's worth it. If it's not going to be paying, it's going to be paying $2,000, maybe not be worth it.
Okay, so you get that. What's the name of that again? Exonet.
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 Uh-huh.
And so your stuff is here. You've applied. They have 2 months to say
yes or no.
Well, they're going to say yes, right? I mean,
yeah,
there'd have to be have to be some sort of weird issue, right, to say no.
Yeah, if they're not able to track your immigration, because they're supposed to do a due diligence on you with the immigration department. So customs has to go and ask immigration, hey, immigration, tell me, is this guy for real? And if they're not able to track it, then they could reject it. And this is a case that it happened to us. So we went, applied, we show everything, and they say, well, no, we still don't see it. So we have to contact the customer's attorney, and then the attorney send us the documentation showing that everything was legit. We show that to the exoneration department, and they approve one shipment. And this is our first shipment. So that's kind of like the end of the story is like we are having customers, we are applying for this for our customers, and we are getting results. And we had a customer saving over $10,000.
So this is the point. You've done it.
Yeah, I've done it.
And this is why I was giving you a hard time earlier. You said, well, I don't want to promote myself, but no other shipping company's doing it. All the other shipping companies are saying, no, we're not really doing that right now or whatever. Not true or not true?
I seen some other companies coming out with their like process for this or their ruling or what they think this is going to be. And I seen what they're saying that they're not doing it because it's not worth it, or they are coming out with a huge list of requirements, including like you have to be registered in Hacienda as a business and showing that you're paying taxes on your business, which has nothing to do with this, no, because this is for, or you have to be registered in La Caja and presenting the certificate that you are, legal and up to date with the payments in La Caja. But we didn't get none of this. We didn't have to provide any of this.
Although most people got their residency and they just got it, they've probably made their Caja payments.
Yeah,
that's the first thing they take you up to the office when you get your cedula. You got to go up and do your Caja and set up for that.
But even with that, we didn't have to present any of that other than customers' passports showing that this was a move, which we always present, proof of that this is a move, an international move.
Now this isn't a reimbursement. Am I paying first?
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
I'm like, well, Michael, if this doesn't work, you still got to put up your whatever $5,000, whatever it is. You know what I mean? Reimbursed.
No. This is not a reimbursement. This is you are being approved for not paying the amount of import taxes that we estimated. So we have to do an estimate. In this case, was a vehicle. It was probably an $18,000, $20,000 car. Import taxes was
a lot.
10,700 and change.
That's
so it's almost $11,000. Customer you have to pay. He's gonna have to pay the 2 months of the storage, but that's not gonna be $600.
It's still worth it.
Yeah,
obviously. Still, and it sounds like that's the major thing. Make sure it's worth it. Make sure you're bringing down enough stuff, and then it's going to be worth it.
Yeah.
And is it true this law is only in effect, this initiative, like for 5 years?
Yep.
So it's a short time period. I mean, if you're going to implement it, you got to.
If you're going to do this, just might as well just do it as soon as possible, or as soon as you have your immigration process ready, because then it's going to go away. We don't have anything that says that the government is going to renew it after 5 years. Remember, this is an emergency law to incentivize the economy after COVID.
Right.
So we only have 3 more years left.
So you guys you perpetual tourists that are kicking it around, but then you kind of going, I think we want to stay here, and you're going to work on your residency. Maybe you should do it now. And
maybe you can import a nice car and save yourself $10,000. Now, something else, if you ever sell that automobile, the new buyer has to pay the import taxes. So this is benefit for you as the user of the vehicle.
Well, yeah, because that could be the manipulation, right? I'm going to bring my car down, get it free tax, and I'm going to sell it.
Yeah, I'm going to save $10,000. I'm going to make $10,000 on that equation, but
Can't
that's
do
not,
that.
no, you can't do that.
Well, no, you can try to do it.
No, it's
It's
not
not
going
going to work.
It's not going to happen because if you want to transfer the vehicle to somebody else, you're going to have to pay the import tax.
Okay, so I got approved and my stuff is at shipping, everything's approved. What's happening? So I just get it
Yeah, after, and this is our case. After we get the approval, we go into our normal process of taking the vehicle to a mechanical inspection, or they get in DECRA to check on the vehicle, it's inspected, it's properly. Then we submit the customs documentation to get the DUA. It's called DUA, a document that shows that you pay taxes, but in this case that you are legit to get the vehicle out of customs. And after that, get the vehicle registered like any other vehicle. Get the license, metal plates on the vehicle.
So after you pull your car out, after like let's say it's in storage for a month or two, you get your DUA. You said what's it called?
DUA.
And then you get that. That's all good.
That's what your attorney is going to need to get the vehicle registered under your name. You're going to need the customs document that shows that you pay taxes, or the vehicle is customs released.
Now, so that's besides you? You're not doing this part.
No, we can do it for a customer, but many customers, they just come to us, they already have their attorney, and so we just give the document. So we can do it for the customer. If you want us to help with everything else, we can do that. But in a lot of cases, we specialize in the shipping and the customs part, and if you ask us to do, we just get after the other things. Paying the marchamo, getting it to another mechanical inspection. You have to take the vehicle after customs to a second mechanical inspection at the DECRA facility.
Don't get confused, guys. Don't get.
That's what I'm saying. It's we do all that for the customer as well.
I don't know. It doesn't sound too difficult. You have your residency. You pre-register for the.
The biggest thing is to have the residency under those categories. That's the biggest thing.
And then once they have the residency, it's pretty much handed to you in a way, right? Yeah. I mean, so you're kind of doing it. You're going to go, okay, have you pre-registered for the thing, and you got to do this or help them do that, and then just go from there. So how many? So maybe I misread what you were telling me. Is this the actual first time this has happened?
Well, I talked to the office, the person in charge of the office, and this was yesterday, 10 applications. So out of the entire country, only 10 people is trying to push or is trying to, and 5 of those are ours. so it's now, I'm not 100% sure if this is the very first one of all of those 10.
It's pretty close.
But it's our first one.
Do you see any issues? Is there going to be a problem? Because obviously in the beginning, Costa Rica is not always known for, coming right out of the gate perfect. So do you see any issues maybe that could hold things up?
I think what's going to happen is a lot of people are going to try to abuse this. That's what's going to happen. Especially,
how can they abuse it?
On cars, it's pretty straightforward. It's only 2 vehicles, right? You can even say 1 bicycle is a vehicle, boat, bicycle, car, motorcycle. But with household goods, it's kind of like a gray line. You don't know if it's household goods, or maybe you have your entire industrial equipment to make whatever you do at home. I mean, there's some customers that when we do the international shipment, their garage look like,
a business.
It looks like a lot of fancy tools.
Is that a problem?
It could be a problem because this is subject to
different
a move. If you're moving, and then when you're looking at the shipment and you see, fancy saws and compressors and all
okay, I get it. It could be a total manipulation. They could be bringing business supplies down.
And now we have, if that's the case, if you have your entire house, which I have a customer, she's actually trying to build like an Airbnb. So she's bringing, a lot of things for all of these, units. So it's not your personal move. So it may be that the law gets approved on this shipment, maybe not, because it looks like you have now 10 TVs.
I would say no.
You know what I mean?
I would say no.
It's just
obviously that's manipulation.
Yeah,
you're trying
to push. You're trying to push the line. So I could totally see people trying to push and get this benefit for other reasons, not just for your move, your personal move, this is designed for your personal move.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about that. You're right. I can totally see people doing that because Costa Rica is kind of known for like loophole stuff. Anyway.
People is gonna try. They're gonna try. I mean,
well, they could try, but I don't know. I think that So, guys, if you're interested, maybe this works for you. If you want to get a hold of Pablo, just write me at info@travelcostarica.com. I'll get you to Pablo at the same day, probably the same hour, and you can talk to him about it. But I'm going to put some of the details also in the description. So if any of this you feel like it's been complicated or you're not understanding, I'll try to do the step-by-step in this video as well. And then any other questions, you can talk to Pablo about it. All right. How's that?
Sounds good.
Thanks, Pablo. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Guys, I'm Michael Allen for TravelCostaRicaNow.com. Peace, guys. Hope it helps. Things are going to pop up. If you're thinking about living or traveling anywhere, you should always do your homework and research. And if it's Costa Rica, I'm going to say our videos. All right, man. Peace.
Bye-bye.